Please be seated. Members of the jury, we're now going to continue with the presentation of evidence. Ms. Stone, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today we'll call Officer Bell.
Officer Bell, come forward, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be true and correct?
I do.
Please be seated. Ms. Stone, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, officer.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Sean Bell, B-E-L-L.
Officer Bell, are you employed?
I am.
How so, sir?
I'm a police officer with the City of Lacey.
And how long have you been employed in law enforcement?
In law enforcement, 23 years.
Is all of that with the City of Lacey?
It is.
Can you describe your training and experience with law enforcement, please?
In 2002, I was hired as a community service officer. My primary responsibilities was the transportation of offenders from the field to correctional facilities or correctional facilities back for judicial processes. Shortly after being hired in 2002, I was also hired as a reserve police officer. In 2003, I attended the Thurston County Reserve Police Officer Academy and was certified as a reserve officer. Through that time, I carried both commissions as a CSO, community service officer, and a reserve officer. So I was paid as a CSO, but I was a volunteer police officer. In the summer of 2004, I was hired as a provisional police officer, and I was assigned to the patrol division, and I worked there through the beginning of 2005. In 2005, I was hired as a commissioned police officer and would attend the Criminal Justice Training Center and obtain my basic law enforcement credentials. Returning from the academy, I went through a field training process, and after successful completion, I've been a police officer ever since.
And as a police officer, what are your current duties?
Currently, I'm assigned to the patrol division. Primary responsibilities handling calls for service via 911. Those include anything that really can come up, to include really you could think of anything and we get it. It also includes traffic enforcement as well as being a visual deterrent for criminal acts.
And so were you employed by Lacey Police Department in October of 2024?
I was.
And were you working on October 18th, 2024 at approximately 2:14 p.m.?
I was.
And were you working with anyone at that time or working by yourself?
At that time, I was a field training officer, and my student officer was Officer Chavez.
In what phase was Officer Chavez in at that time?
Phase 3.
Is that the field training officer program you previously testified about? Or previously referenced? Is she-
Yes.
Okay. Are you the field training officer for Officer Chavez at that time?
At that time, yes.
Did you become aware of an investigation occurring at Timberline High School located at 6120 Mullen Road Southeast in Lacey, Washington on that day at about that time?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to that location?
Yes.
Do you recall about what time you arrived at that location?
I believe we arrived at 2:20 p.m.
And what did you observe when you arrived?
Once I arrived on scene, there was a person that was detained in handcuffs that was on their stomach. Officer Hang was with that person. And then there were students, would be to the right near the inner city transit sign.
And when you say person detained, was that a child, an adult, or something else?
An adult male.
And you described Officer Hang as being present. Were there any other adults present at that scene?
There was a male that was, I believe, kneeling down next to the detained person, white male with a beard is what I remember.
Okay. And was that individual an officer or a civilian?
Civilian.
And you described there also being other individuals. I don't remember if you said kids or students present, but where were they present, about how many?
They were to my right. There was a handful.
Okay. When you say to your right as you're facing the location of Officer Hang?
Correct.
Okay. Was there a landmark or feature near the location Officer Hang was present at?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Is there a bus stop in that area?
Yes, the
Okay.
intercity transit sign.
Okay. And where was Officer Hang and the civilian male and the other male that was on his stomach on the ground? Where were they in location to that bus stop?
If where I was I was in the middle of the street, Mullen. If you look to my left, that's where they were. To the right would be where the IT bus stop sign or bus sign.
Okay. And did you, during the course of your time on scene, did you have any opportunity to observe the male who was down on the ground at some point be relocated from that location? Meaning, throughout the time you were there, did the male stay on his stomach on the ground?
No, he was moved.
Okay. Where did he go to?
I believe Officer Hang took him to a patrol car.
Okay. At any point, did you have an observation or an opportunity to observe him speaking with anyone? If you recall.
Not that I recall.
Okay. And what did you do upon arrival?
Initially, I checked in with Officer Hang. Want to make sure I just needed to know what he needed from us. And that's when things started getting delegated.
Okay. And so you said Officer Chavez was with you, is that correct?
That is.
Did you take statements from anyone at the scene, or did someone else do that?
I did not. Officer Chavez did.
Okay. What did you do next?
About this time is when somebody was beginning to enter the scene.
And what do you mean by that, enter the scene?
With where we were, things were right there off of Mullen. There was a woman that was walking in from the parking lot of the Timberline High School.
And how did that woman appear to you?
She appeared to be upset.
Okay. How was she dressed in appearance?
It was either a dark colored, like a green or an olive drab. I can't think of the term off the top of my head, but the head covering.
Okay.
And then she had a black style gown or dress.
And you said she was walking in from the parking lot. The parking lot for what?
Timberline High School.
Okay. And what is in the direction behind where she was coming from?
From the direction she was coming from would be the main hub of Timberline. So that would be near the basketball, the swimming pool, the administrative office, and then kind of the front of the school would be the parking lot that we were at.
Okay. And you indicated she was upset. Did she make contact with you?
Yes.
Okay. And can you describe that contact, please?
So initially, I was trying to get her to wait where she was, and ultimately I had to stop her from entering and going past me, and then she was yelling.
Okay. Do you recall what she was yelling?
Initially, she was saying things to the effect of my husband or something to the effect of this is my husband.
Okay. And you said initially, was there something else she was yelling, or that you can recall?
It eventually would change from that to, I think it was something similar to leave him alone.
Did she say that once, more than once, or something else?
It was pretty much those two things, and it was said more than once.
How would you describe her demeanor while she was making these statements?
She was upset.
And do you recall during your contact with Mom if she ever said or acknowledged anything about someone named Isaiah?
Yes.
Okay. And did you recall during your contact, with that female, if she ever said or indicated anything about to you that indicated where Isaiah went to school?
She made a motion pointing to the front of the school.
Okay. At any, we'll strike that. Do you recall if she made any other statements about Isaiah specifically that you recall?
There was something about changing of mind or changing her mind or something to that effect.
And when you say changing her mind or changing of her mind, was she referring to herself or something else based on your interaction with her?
I believe she was referring to somebody else.
You said at one point you had to intervene to prohibit her from coming into the area where things were occurring. Is that correct?
Yes.
During the course of your interaction with this female, well, let me ask you a different question. I apologize. Was she an adult female or younger female or something else?
The particular one I'm speaking of is an adult female.
Is there another female that you are distinguishing her from?
Yes.
Who are you distinguishing her from?
There was a younger female as well.
Okay, and how are you, how did that other female present to you in terms of physical appearance?
Younger.
What was she wearing?
I believe she had a blue something, a blue shirt or a blue, there was something blue.
Okay. Did she have any head covering as you described the older female, if you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. And so did those two females appear to be connected to each other in any way?
Yes.
Did they appear to communicate with each other?
Yes.
Okay. And during the course of your interaction with the older female, how often or did you ever have to repeat any of your directives or instructions to her?
I did.
And can you describe what that looks like, please? How did that go?
I had to provide more than once to not enter where now the person had been taken to.
Okay, and when you say the person, who are you referring to?
The adult male that had been detained.
Okay. How would you describe the older female's compliance with those directions?
It appeared as if she was working left to right to find a path or a way to get past. And at that point, I had a second officer with me as well. That's what I was kind of observing.
And Officer Bell, did you write a report about these events?
I did not.
How did you prepare for today then?
I reviewed my body-worn camera.
Okay. Officer Bell, you described having a body-worn camera. Where do you hold that body-worn camera? How was that attached to you?
So at the City of Lacey, we're using external vest, at least most of us are. And those with external vests have straps that are referred to as molly. And so mine is specifically weaved through that fabric. And then the camera goes on, and there's a locking mechanism that when you put it on and rotate it, so give or take, it's right about here on my right rib. It's about where it's at.
And the witness used his hands to describe physically his verbal testimony.
Thank you. It's okay. And you pointed to your right rib. How does that body camera work? Meaning, is that something that you manually turn on and off? Is it something that records 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, something else? What does that look like?
So there's a couple different ways that it works. The simplest and like the way that normally an officer would activate it is a double click of a large circular button on the front. And as soon as you double click that, that'll activate it. But for this particular event, our cameras were on. And so when we activated our lights for the code run to get to the school, the camera began running as soon as we activated our lights. And so Officer Chavez was driving. And again, once those lights were activated, there's a few other pieces of equipment that we own that also could activate it as well electronically. But this particular event, it was activated when the lights were on.
Okay. And when your camera records those events, where are those events stored?
So the company that we use is Axon. The simplest way I can explain it is the cloud. We plug them in and then they upload through the data center or however that works. but it's going to be above me. But that's where it goes, is the company's Axon.
And if you have to download that camera footage for some reason, do you have the ability to edit it in the sense of removing people, adding people in, doing anything with that?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. If you do, would you be capable of doing that?
No.
Okay. And you indicated prior to today you reviewed your body-worn camera in preparation for testimony. Is that correct?
I did.
And based on your review of that body-worn camera and your recollection, that appeared to be a true and accurate reflection of those events as they occurred.
Yes.
Prior to coming in today to this courtroom, did you have an opportunity to review a copy of that body-worn camera?
Yes.
And, well, how long was that incident? How long were you on scene for?
I think the recording for me was 52 minutes and something. So for my cam, I know we left right after that.
Okay, and for part of that 52 minutes, does that include sitting in your vehicle, talking to other officers, other non-investigatory events, for lack of a better word?
Yes.
Okay. And prior to coming into court today, did you have an opportunity to review portions of that body cam video specifically as it relates to your testimony today?
Yes.
Did that video appear to be true and accurate based on your review?
Yes.
Bless you.
May I approach, Honor?
You may.
Officer Bell, I'm handing you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 97, 98, and 104. I'm going to ask that you review those silently to yourself for a moment and then look up at me when you're done, please, sir. Officer Bell, do you recognize what I've handed you there?
Yes.
And what are those?
Those are electronic jump drives that contain things that I looked at this morning.
Okay. And when you say looked at this morning, looked at where this morning?
In prosecutor's office.
Okay. And how do you know that those are the same ones?
On the back, the green tabs, my initial SB and the date 7/21, 2025 is listed on all three.
Okay. And based on your review of those exhibits, did those appear to be true and accurate copies of the events about which you've been testifying and the body camera footage you've also testified as to reviewing on your own system prior to coming to today?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time the state would move to admit State's Exhibits 97, 98, and 104.
Any objection, Mr. Kading?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
Nothing additional.
97, 98, and 104 shall be admitted.
May I retrieve those and publish, Honor?
You may.
Officer Bell, do you recall as it relates to State's Exhibit 104, does that video occur during the course of your interaction prior to State's Exhibits 97 and 98 or after? Do you recall?
No, I don't recall.
Okay. Officer Bell, I'm going to start with State's Exhibit 104, and then I have some questions for you afterwards.
I know. I'm with it. Hey, just Just wait right there. Just wait right there for right now. I know, and I'm asking you what your hand. Let go of my hand. Let go of my hand. No, no. Right here. That's fine, but right now he's being detained for a criminal investigation. And as of right now, until we get to the bottom of this, okay? That's for us to determine. That's for us to stop. Stop.
And, Officer Bell, when you were talking about the two women, are those the two women that you previously referenced as in blue and then, the individual, the older female in the, I believe you said olive drab, head covering? Are those the two women you were talking about?
Yes.
Upon reviewing that, does that happen, earlier or later in your, arrival at that scene?
That is gonna be right about arrival.
Okay. And, published in States Exhibit 97.
Hey, Sean, I'm a police officer, Lacey Petey. Okay, well, so here's what's going on. We need to figure out what happened out here. And I know what, I know, and Fatima, right? And so, she's in the office, she's safe. She's safe. Okay, guys, so here's what's going on. Something happened out here that could potentially be a crime. So with it potentially being a crime right now, you're, okay. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
They keep talking without God. He changed my mind, huh? He changed my mind, huh?
Zara,
It's her
Zara,
changing.
Zara, will you look at Zara? Look at me, okay? We're gonna get to the bottom of this. So she told me that you have asthma, is that correct? So being worked up, Zara, you being worked, I'm trying to, but I wanna help you first. Zara, as of right now, he's being detained. It doesn't mean he's going anywhere. We're in the middle of investigating this, and right now you cannot see him. But if you try to go interfere, you could get in trouble. Who does? Dad's telling you to go home. Okay, well then we'll work through that in a minute.
And, previously, Officer Bell, you talked about there being an indication that, the older female, did you get a name for the older female?
Eventually it was Zara, or if I'm saying it correctly.
Okay, So when Zara was talking to you, previously you indicated that she had said something along the lines of she changed her mind. Is that the time frame that you were referencing?
It was.
Okay. I'm publishing State's Exhibit 98.
Just a moment.
Yes.
The screen is not working. Can you start?
I
over,
will,
please?
Your Honor. Publishing State's Exhibit 98.
Yes. I said it changed Williams. He changed that. His name is Isaiah James Williams.
And so earlier you testified as well that she, Zara, had pointed towards the school and referenced Isaiah as a student at the school. Is that the portion that you were referencing there as well?
Yes.
Okay. At any point, Officer Bell, did you actually go into the school or make contact with anyone inside the school?
Yes.
And who did you make contact with?
When I checked in with the school, I'd check in with Sergeant Landwirl and then Lacey Fire.
Was that after or before that interaction? If you remember.
I think it's going to be towards the end of all of my interactions.
Okay. So somewhere towards the end of that 52 minutes that you've referenced, that's when you believe you were in
That's
school.
I think so.
Okay. What did you do when you checked in with them? I mean, what was the purpose of that? What was the intent?
I was checking in to make sure that we still had a safe scene.
Okay. Did you observe Fatima or anyone by the name of Fatima Ali at any point during your interaction with the school itself?
When I was inside the school, who I believed to be Fatima was down a hallway and I didn't see them at the time. It was eventually when they brought her out on the gurney and brought her out to the ambulance.
So when you initially saw Fatima, or when you recognized seeing Fatima, it was already on the gurney and going into the ambulance?
That's what I think. That's what
Okay.
I believe.
Did you see anyone else loaded onto a gurney and taken into an ambulance besides one individual?
I did not.
Okay.
You may.
Officer Bell, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 85 to 95. Will you look at those silently to yourself for a moment, please, sir, and then look up at me when you're done. Officer Bell, do you recognize what I've handed you?
They appear to be screenshots from my body-worn camera.
Okay, and based on your review of your body-worn camera, do those appear to be true and accurate screenshots from the body-worn camera for the incident about which you've been testifying today?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit States Exhibits 85 through 95.
Mr. Kading, any objection? Mr. Larry? 85 through 95 shall be admitted.
Your Honor, request permission to retrieve and publish.
You may.
Yes, ma'am.
So Officer Bell, I'm showing you for States Exhibit 85. I'd ask you to orient the jury, please, to what they're looking at here.
If you're looking at this particular, this is me being in the roadway of Mullen Road. I'm going to be in front of Timberline High School. More or less straight in front of me, you can see Officer Hang, the person that I described on the ground, and the other male. You can see the students on the right.
Okay, and is that the bus stop on the right-hand side of the photograph to which you've been referencing? Is this the bus stop area here?
Yes.
Okay. And just so that we understand what we're looking at in terms of some of the markings on this exhibit, and I'm going to ask you when, if you're describing something in the exhibit, to indicate where geographically on the picture we are. Upper right-hand quadrant, center of the photo, bottom left. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example, okay? So up here in the upper right-hand side of the photograph, there are some markings. What do those markings indicate?
So the big yellow triangle is Axon's logo.
Okay.
If you read it from the top line, left to right, 2024-10-18. Timestamp's going to be 14/20/23, so we're using military time, so the 14 representing the 2 o'clock, 20 being the minute, and then the second counter is going to be the last number. I am unaware or unfamiliar with the minus 0700 is, and then the bottom with the Axon Body 3. I'm assuming that's the style of camera and potentially the serial number, but I'm uncertain about that X number on that's to the right of Body 3.
Okay. And as you're looking at this, there is a runner across the bottom. Do you see that?
Yes.
And what does that runner indicate to across the bottom?
So normally that runner is going to indicate where we're at within my time frame of the video. So it's been recording for 4 minutes and 43 seconds is the time that I see on the left. And on the outside right is 52:36.
Okay. And is that the 52 minutes that you indicated you were recall being on scene for?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated, I believe, at the beginning when your cameras come on and start recording, it's attached to the lights on your vehicle. Is that correct?
In this particular scenario, yes.
Okay. And so will that then also include part of your drive to that location?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So you haven't, if I understand your testimony correctly, you haven't actually been on scene for 4 minutes and 43 seconds at this point. That is just when your camera started recording in relation to the lights on your vehicle. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And States Exhibit 86. And what are we looking at in States Exhibit 86?
So
Who
now,
are these individuals?
So I've traversed and I'm almost out of the roadway of Mullen Road. The area that we're there is the front landscaping area of Timberline High School. Then you can see the male that's detained. You can see Officer Hang looking towards me. You can see the other male that I described earlier. And then there's a concrete sidewalk back there that's going to be away from Mullen Road. So that's what that is. And then the cars that you see are going to be the Timberline parking lot.
Okay, so just to reference for the record, the group of individuals you were describing is essentially center of that photograph towards the bottom. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the sidewalk that you were referencing runs almost directly across the middle from right to left or left to right of this photograph. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then just slightly above that is pictured the Timberline High School parking lot. Is that fair? So that's just above center and heading towards the top half of that page. Is that correct?
Yes.
All of the same markings still indicated at the top as it relates to your body cam specifically, meaning are these going to be on the top right hand corner of this photo, are these going to be on every still shot essentially from your body camera?
Yes.
Okay. State's Exhibit 87. What is depicted in State's Exhibit 87?
So at this point, I'm starting to turn my body to the right. You can see the male that I described that's kneeled over there to my left, on the left lower corner of the screen. I am now looking directionally, I'm looking east so that would be Mullen Road is the road right behind us. East, you can see the IT bus stop logoed sign there in that photo. And then we have a handful of students there.
Okay. And who is pictured, so you've identified the logo on the just center of the photograph, but to the right. Who is depicted on the very right-hand side of this photograph, if you know?
That's going to be Officer Chavez.
Okay. And the individual in blue and black in the very middle center of the photograph, just towards the bottom, is that the same female that we observed earlier?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 88. What is depicted in this photograph, sir?
So I believe I've moved just a few feet to the east. So I'm a little bit closer to the IT sign. You can see me right in front of the woman that's got the blue on, and then Officer Chavez is starting to do investigative work.
Okay. And are those the students that you were referring to earlier as observing upon your arrival?
Yes.
Okay. What time are we at in terms of elapsed time from your camera notated at the bottom with that runner?
We're at 5:35.
Okay. I'm showing you State's Exhibit 89. What are we looking at here at State's Exhibit 89?
So now I'm going to be to the left or to the slight west of the initial photo that you'd saw of the person that was down on the ground. And what I'm seeing now for the scene is there's a light colored pickup truck, I would say lower left, and there's a person walking towards me.
Is that the same individual that we just observed on State's Exhibit 104 in that very first body camera we watched you engage with?
It is.
Okay. And there's a tree trunk about center of this photograph. Do you agree?
Yes.
How would you describe the right-hand side of the photograph? What is depicted in that right-hand side of the photograph?
I would say more of the sidewalk that we've described. And then you also have the Timberline High School reader board, the electronic thing. That's going to be slightly to the right of the trunk, to the left of the person wearing red shorts and a dark colored top.
Okay. And going back quickly to the left-hand side with Zara depicted, what kind of vehicle? You described a light-colored vehicle. What kind of vehicle is that?
That appears to be a Dodge Ram, one of the heavy-duty rigs.
Okay. What time is elapsed in this photograph?
We're at 5:58.
Okay. State's Exhibit 90. What is depicted in State's Exhibit 90?
These are faculty and administration from Timberline. Specifically, I believe that's going to be Mr. Dean, the principal, that's a dead center or middle center. To my left, I believe that's another faculty member, Mr. Bush.
Okay. And when you say Mr. Dean in the green shirt with white sleeves, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What time is elapsed at this time?
We're at 9:17.
And I'm showing you State's Exhibit 91. What are we looking at in State's Exhibit 91?
I'm now inside the office of Timberline High School. This is just inside the main door or the main entry door for the office. What we're seeing is some of our personnel from Lacey Fire. And then I don't know who the person wearing the blazer shirt is. I'm unfamiliar with them. And then I can't tell there's a firefighter on the left. I know him because they're wearing the jumper pants.
Sure.
But to the right, I don't know who that is.
Okay. And you said, do you recall if you went back and walked back towards the back side of the office area?
I did.
Okay. And when you initially indicated that you had observed or believed you had observed who you thought was Fatima, where if you recall, in terms of this photograph, was that?
In the terms of this photograph, there's a door that is propped open that you can see behind the two people that are in the, I would say, to the left middle. There's a prop door open that leads to another area of the office, and that's where I believed I saw the gurney initially.
Okay, and what time are we at elapsed in terms of your body camera time at this point?
Elapsed right now is 46:33.
Thank you. Showing you States Exhibit 92. What are we looking at in States Exhibit 92, sir?
It's going to be one of our Lacey firefighters, and that's looking back at the door that I'd entered. So that's the door I was describing just a moment ago. Specifically, I had handed off what I believe to be property for Fatima. So if you look at the bears, to the bottom of that, you can see like some blue, I think it was like a blue, like a reusable shopping bag, I think was one of them. And I think the other one was a backpack, I think. So I brought those, and that's where I put those on that lower left underneath the bears on the bookcase.
Are you familiar with the interior of Timberline High School?
A little bit of it.
Okay. And this area here, what area is depicted on the right-hand side of the photograph? Where does that lead? Where does that go to?
So Timberline has an open concept. So with looking through the area that you're seeing, that is their main cafeteria, is what I think they're using it for. And then if you make a right, that'll take you back to the student classrooms. It's a 2-story building now. So like they have classes, they have one in a 2-story. There's a stairwell, I think, right about there in that area, the cafeteria as well.
Okay, thank you. And States Exhibit 93. What is that a photograph of, sir?
It's going to be the same office with no personnel.
Okay. And on the right-hand side, is there a window depicted?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that window lead to? Does it lead to the interior or the exterior of that building?
That I'm uncertain of.
Okay. And is this still the same doorway you were referring to on the left-hand side of the photograph that is propped open?
Yes.
What time has elapsed at this point?
Time on the lower left is 47:34.
Thank you. States Exhibit 94. What are we looking at in States Exhibit 94?
So I've now moved to the said described propped open door. As you look down, it kind of looks like a hallway, and you see some fire personnel. You can see, I'm going to describe the bookcase that's on the left. Just past that, you can see you can make out what's going to be the foot of a gurney. Then you can see some other personnel.
And just to be clear, in terms of this photograph, you say the bookcase is on the left. It's on the left-hand side of the hallway in the photo, but actually the center of the photo in this case. Is that correct?
That'd be correct.
Is this a single door entry, or are there 2 doors there for this entry into that back hallway?
I am not certain.
Okay, well, what is this pictured here on the right-hand side?
It looks like another push door.
Okay, so it looks like 2 push doors for this entrance?
It appears to be that way.
Okay. And States Exhibit 95, do you recognize any of these individuals?
Yes.
And who is anyone that you recognize in this photograph?
Specifically, the taller officer wearing a pink badge is going to be Sergeant Landwell. To the right of him, depicted with the blue gloves, it's going to be Officer Dawes. I'm assuming a Timberline faculty member that I'm unfamiliar with, and then we've got 2 of the Lacey firefighters to the right-hand side. So if you're looking left to right, first officer with the pink badge, Sergeant Landwell, blue gloves, Officer Dawes, I believe to be a faculty member, and then to the right, the 2 firefighters.
And is then Mr. Dean, who you previously identified, located all the way on the left-hand side of that photo?
It appears that way, yes.
And in this photo on the right-hand side, is that ambulance still present?
Yeah, you can, if you look to the right, you can see my gloved hand underneath what would be my palm. You can see something red. That's going to be one of the doors.
Okay, and your palm is that blue glove all the way on the top right-hand corner, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what time are we looking at this at on your body camera?
Elapsed
Time elapsed, yes, sir.
is 50 minutes, 3 seconds.
Okay, and the total video itself is 52:36, is that correct?
Yes.
Officer Bell, at any point during your interaction with Mrs. Ali, did she ever indicate to you or anyone else that you would have personally heard the fact that her husband had been choking her daughter?
No.
At any point during your interaction with Mrs. Ali that you would have, or with anyone else that you would have personally heard, did you hear Mrs. Ali indicate that her daughter had been unconscious at any point?
No.
Did Mrs. Ali ever ask you or anyone else that you would have personally heard specifically about the health and welfare of her daughter, Fatima?
No.
How long into your investigation on this scene did you, until you found out that there had been an injury to Fatima?
Towards the very end.
Did that come from anyone in her family?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Members of the jury, I know that you came into the courtroom well past 1:30, but we started at 1:30 this afternoon. So it is 3:05 and time for our afternoon recess. I'm going to ask the bailiff to come forward and take you back for a 15-minute recess, and then we will continue with this officer's testimony. Officer, you may step down during our break. We'll be in recess for 15 minutes. I'm aware of an issue that I need to address with those recording our proceeding. If I could have the representative from Court TV come forward, please. I'll just have you come up to the podium. A law student from the University of Kentucky is apparently watching the live stream on Court TV, indicating that she is able to see the rules of evidence being applied in real trials. She's taking the bar exam next week, so this proceeding is educational. She indicated that the names of minors are not being redacted in the live stream. And that's what needs to be addressed, because I specifically indicated that they could not be used.
Yes, ma'am. This has come to my attention too. I thought that the names are being redacted. We have done everything possible to ensure that that doesn't happen real time in the courtroom. But there are some times that the testimony is coming so fast that we can't capture all of the names, so we use our safeguard of with a delayed broadcast. But unfortunately, I'm trying to get more information about what's happening with our live stream, so that's what I was in the process of sending an email to our folks back in Atlanta to figure that out.
All right. So I'm not going to allow you to live stream if this is violated again. And so specifically, minors are to be protected. And there's a strong public policy in favor of protecting minors and their names. They can't be photographed. None of the exhibits that have the minors in it, because they deserve a right to privacy, despite the fact that this is a public trial. And so I do not believe that our current witness, other than potentially referencing the alleged victim with the initials FA, and potentially a reference to another minor IW, that there should be a reference to any youth. But if you can't ensure that the names are redacted in real time, and however you're recording this and live streaming it, then I have to revoke the permission, because those rules have to be followed.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we are going to follow the rules, and I'm going to ensure that this doesn't happen going forward.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Stone, anything on this issue?
Nothing additionally, Your Honor. Thank you. I wasn't aware, so I appreciate the court's bringing that to our attention.
Mr. Kading, anything further? Mr. O'Leary?
No, Your Honor.
Go ahead and bring the jury in, and if you could bring the witness back in to return to the stand.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Please be seated. Mr. Kading, cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Officer Bell.
Good afternoon, sir.
You indicated you were a field training officer, right?
I am.
And you're an experienced officer, been around for, it sounds like 22 years doing police work?
Been in law enforcement for 23, yes.
Okay. And during that time, you've investigated many cases, right?
I have.
Okay. And just so we're clear, in this case, Officer Chavez is under your supervision essentially this day?
Yes.
Okay. And did it occur to you to tell her to maybe separate the witnesses before she interviewed them?
Overruled.
Could you please repeat the question?
Did it occur to you to tell her to separate the witnesses before she interviewed them?
No.
Okay. And do you typically then interview witnesses in a group?
No.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene, were you assigned any particular duties?
No.
Okay. And so you were kind of, it looks like from the videos and things, you were kind of walking around the parking lot
Yes.
and up to the school
Yes.
and talking to all the other officers there?
Yes.
Okay. And during that time, was Officer Shaw with you, or was she off doing other things?
She was off doing other things.
Okay. And so, did you know that she was out of paper to write witness statements?
No, I was not.
Okay. You mentioned in your testimony there was a truck parked there right near where everything was happening, right? You
Yes.
described it. It was a silver truck, I believe.
Light colored?
Yeah, light colored, okay. And did you eventually determine or find out that that was Mr. Ali?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you ever take a witness statement that day?
No.
And did you see Mr. Ali when he was transported to the patrol car?
Could you re-clarify that question?
Mr. Ali, did you see him get transported to the patrol car when he was taken away?
I don't understand the question.
Did you see him walk past you?
Yes,
Okay. And at that point, had you talked to any officers about what had happened at the scene?
at that time, no.
Okay. All right. And did you eventually come to know that Mr. Ali had been kicked and hit in the head?
Towards the end,
Towards the end, okay. And when you say towards the end, you mean of the 52 minutes you were there?
yes,
Okay. And at the end of those 52 minutes, was he still there in the patrol car, or was he gone by that point?
I'm not aware.
Okay. All right. And you went up to the school office at some point, we saw in the pictures, right?
Yes,
Okay. And when you were up there, did you talk to any witnesses up there?
I don't recall.
Okay. All right. So, clarify if I'm wrong, but it doesn't sound like you did any independent investigation in this case, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And was Officer Chavez, were you riding in the same car as her?
I was.
Okay. And so did you leave at the same time?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Larry, cross-examination.
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. You've been here all day, right?
Yes, sir, I have.
I appreciate it. Did you work last night?
No, I did not.
All right, so you and Officer Chavez, second and third officer at the scene, approximately?
I don't understand the second and the third.
Officer Hang first?
Yes,
And I'm just talking about in order. So you saw Officer Hang when you arrived, correct?
yes,
And he had Mr. Ali detained on the ground.
yes.
Did you see any other officers in the near vicinity when you arrived with Officer Chavez?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so that's what I mean by second and third. And so when you, on direct, you said that Officer Chavez was in phase 3,
Yes,
and so phase 3 of 3?
yes.
Okay, so what does that mean exactly?
So with the program that we use, we have 3 phases. We have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And throughout every week is a new week. And so those weeks count through the training. So this particular area of her training, she would have been several weeks in.
Okay. And so, just so that the jury understands, so you get hired as an officer, correct?
Yes,
And that's after going all through the physical, psychological, background check, all of that, correct?
yes,
And then you wait for a slot at the academy, correct?
yes,
Graduate from the academy, correct?
yes,
And then go to your department and then have a field training session, correct? Or not session, but time with a field training officer.
yes,
And so you are then teaching the officer and making sure that he or she knows how to apply the lessons from the academy and the specific rules and regulations of Lacey PD. Is that fair?
yes.
Okay. And that duration, depending on how they do, ranges from how long? Short to long?
I'm uncertain with the short part of your question.
So, I mean, it can be as short as 3 weeks and as long as however long it takes. So kind of what is the expectation as far as how long somebody is with a field training officer?
I think it's over 10 weeks. I don't remember the exact number of weeks,
Okay.
but phase 1 is 4 weeks, phase 2 is 4 weeks, and phase 3, I believe, is 3 weeks.
Okay, so she is well past the beginning, past the middle, and is towards the tail end of her time with you, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And the difference between a patrol officer and a detective would be patrol officer kind of secures the scene, identifies witnesses, identifies suspects, and kind of does that initial contact. Is that fair?
yes,
Whereas the detective then takes the case in the hours, days, weeks, months after and does follow-up. Is that fair?
yes,
Okay. So Officer Hang had Mr. Ali detained, correct?
yes,
And so and you checked in with him, correct?
yes,
All right. And so then the next piece is, okay, who here knows who should we contact, correct?
yes.
And so did Officer Chavez contact the students on her own, or did you direct her to do that?
I don't remember.
Okay. And so in terms of training and what your expectation is as her supervisor or training officer would be is she's contacting people who potentially were witnesses to what actually happened. Fair?
Yes,
Okay. And we know that she identified, 4, correct?
I don't know the exact number.
Okay. And so at this point, are you on her shoulder, or are you just kind of in the background at this point in the training process?
I'm more in the background at this process.
Okay. And so it comes to your attention, the state showed you Exhibit 89, which showed the older woman, later identified as Zara, approaching the scene, correct?
Yes,
All right. And then you are talking to her and basically keeping her away from her husband initially, correct?
yes,
And that's what we saw in the first clip, which was,
104.
thank you, Your Honor, admitted Exhibit 104, correct?
yes,
And then we see a subsequent exhibit where you're having a conversation with her, correct?
yes.
Did you have an opinion at that point as to whether she had information pertaining to this investigation?
At that time, no.
Okay, why not?
The statements she was making were specific.
Okay. Did you ask her if she was present when it happened?
No,
Did you ask her what she saw?
no,
Did you ask her what happened to her daughter?
no,
What happened to her husband?
no,
And so in Exhibit 97, which we heard, there's you talked about, that ma'am, your husband is being detained. We're doing an investigation. Do you recall saying something to that effect?
yes,
And, they're going to figure out what's going on, correct? You said something to that effect.
yes, something to
And
that effect.
And I will be the first to confess, this is not a verbatim transcript from my head. Fair enough?
Fair.
Okay. And she says something about my daughter is missing, correct? Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. Tell you what, how about we play it?
Yes,
May
please.
I? Your
You
Honor?
may.
Thank you.
Which exhibit, Mr. Keating? I'm sorry, Mr. Leary.
This is, thank you, 97, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And if I may publish.
Yes.
I understand. So, by the way, my name's Sean.
Okay. All right, so this is Exhibit 97. I'm going to roll it back to the start. So we just heard you introduce yourself by your first name, correct?
Yes,
And de-escalation is something you guys are trained on, correct?
Yes.
Correct if I'm wrong, you're trying to humanize yourself, right? You're sharing your first name, right?
yes,
Trying to put her at ease with you. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So hitting play, and so we know this is at 14:27:53, and this clip lasts a total of 1:22. Is that correct? Testing your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know 14:27:53 from the axon timestamp at the top, right?
Correct. I'm trying to look at the lower right. I think, is that the number you're talking about, the lower right?
And the lower right tells us the duration of the clip, which is a 1:22.
Okay.
Okay. Hitting play.
I understand. So, by the way, my name's Sean. I'm a police officer, Lacey P.
It's Chappie, it's a Sean.
Okay, well, so here's what's going on. We need to figure out what happened out here. And I know it's Fatima, right?
Okay, so I'm hitting pause at 13 seconds on the 122 clip, right? And
Yep.
so, you know, you're using your hands in front of you. We can see that, right? And you're like, we're just trying to figure out what's going on, correct?
Yes.
After you've introduced yourself. And she says, you know, my daughter, and then you say, Fatima. You say that. And so, hitting play.
The office. She's safe. She's safe. Okay, guys, so here's what's going on. Something happened out here that could potentially be a crime. So with it potentially being a crime right now,
Okay, so hitting pause at 32 seconds into this clip. So there's a conversation with you like, hey, there's potentially a crime here. We're trying to investigate it, correct?
Yes.
And she talks about her daughter and Isaiah, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Hitting play.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
They
Okay?
keep talking without that.
Pause at 56. So she did say something about her daughter, and you said she's in the office safe. Did you hear yourself say that?
I did.
Okay. And, you know, you talked about we're going to get to the bottom of this. And so, how did you know at this point that she was in the office?
I believe
If you know.
I don't recall.
Okay. And that's fair. I'm not trying to beat you up about it. So, but you communicated to her that she was safe in the office. That's what we just heard, right?
Yes.
Okay. As a first responder with 20 plus years, starting out as a CSO and then as a reserve officer and then as a fully commissioned officer, safe to say that in an average year you respond to 1,000 calls or more?
I don't like to ever put a number on something, sir.
Okay.
I
lot of
I
calls.
work patrol.
A lot of calls.
Yes, sir.
And it could be everything from this dog's barking too much, my neighbor, and it's I hate my neighbor. Correct? As you kind of grimace.
Yes.
Those are probably hard calls to deal with. To homicides.
Yes.
Okay. And safe to say that no two calls are the same, correct?
I agree with that statement.
And everybody's reaction can be different, correct?
Yes.
Some people can be stoic in the most horrific of circumstances, correct?
I would agree with that statement.
And people can also be very outwardly upset and crying, correct?
I would agree with that statement.
And there's no right or wrong way to respond. Would you agree?
I would agree with that statement.
Okay. So you and other officers were talking with Zara and her daughter, correct?
Can you repeat that one for me, please?
Yes. Just so the record, there was a little radio traffic in the courtroom. So you and your other officers were talking with Zara and her daughter, correct?
Yes.
And she indicated that she wished to be able to talk to her husband, correct? Do you recall that?
I recall it happening later.
Okay. And just so we're clear, the husband was within the detention of law enforcement, correct?
Yes.
And so you guys were in a position to control access.
Yes.
And if she was going to walk up to the car to go talk to him without getting permission, that wasn't going to be acceptable. Fair?
I would agree with that statement.
Okay. And from your understanding, her daughter was not in the custody of law enforcement. Fair? Fatima.
Not to my knowledge.
Right. And you didn't tell her that she was in police custody in the school, correct? Just that she was in the school.
I don't remember saying that specifically.
Okay. And you guys accommodated the request. You let her talk to her husband for a period of time, correct?
Eventually, yes.
And then eventually you walked the backpack and the bags to the school, correct?
Yes.
And I guess I should say, did you watch the entire 52-minute of your body-worn video, or did you just watch the clips that were introduced this morning?
Well, for my review, I've watched it.
The whole thing?
Mhm.
Okay. So you recall, grabbing the bags and walking into the school, correct?
Yes.
And you did that by yourself, correct?
Yes.
Officer Chavez remained in the parking lot with Zara, correct? And her daughter?
I don't remember who she'd be specifically with.
Okay, but there were multiple officers who were there with her, correct? In the
Yes.
parking lot. And she was not invited to go into the school with you, correct?
From me?
Yes.
No, she was not.
Okay. So she wasn't, afforded the opportunity by you to see her before she went in to the ambulance. Fair?
I would agree with that statement.
Okay. Now, Ms. Stone finished up direct by saying that at no time did my client say that her husband had strangled her daughter, correct?
Correct.
And at no time did you ask her to describe what her husband did, correct?
Correct.
She never said that her daughter had lost consciousness, correct, to you?
Correct.
And at no time did you ever ask her what happened to her daughter, correct?
Correct.
She said that she was a runaway to you, correct?
Yes.
And did you follow up as to when that had occurred? When she had run away? If you remember.
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you ever ask her if her daughter was injured?
No.
Okay. Now, you didn't write a report, correct?
Correct.
You didn't take anybody's statement.
Correct.
And you didn't direct Officer Chavez to interview my client, correct?
I don't know
so-
who your client is.
Fair enough, fair enough. Zara.
Oh, okay.
You never told Officer Chavez to interview Zara, correct?
I did not.
Or to interview Haneen, the older, the woman in the blue wearing the headscarf.
I did not.
And you talked about her kind of walking back and forth in the initial video, which I believe is 104. Let me confirm.
That's correct.
Thank you. You described her kind of pacing back and forth on the sidewalk, correct?
Yes.
When she was very outwardly upset, correct?
Yes.
At no point did she make a break for her husband, correct?
Correct.
And you had multiple officers there, and you just said, you can't go over there. And she's wailing and crying, but she never, made a break for it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Ms. Stone, redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Officer Bell, what was your role on scene?
My
Meaning
ro-
like in primary investigating officer, investigator, or something else? How would you describe your role on scene?
I would say my role became a safety.
And what do you mean by that?
We had a very dynamic scene, and we still needed more people, and we didn't have enough people yet.
And so would it have been, at that stage, would it have been your role to specifically instruct Officer Chavez to go do something or specific tasks to other individuals? Were you in charge of that scene?
If I wasn't completing the safety aspect, I would have been more direct with Chavez.
Okay. And I believe it was Mr. Leary asked you about whether you specifically asked Zara what she saw for injuries to her daughter. Is that correct? You recall that line of questioning?
Yes,
Was she asked by Officer Dawes, based on the video we watched, to tell him what happened? Do you recall that?
no, I don't.
Okay. Let's replay. May I publish Your Honor 104?
You may.
First of all, before I start it, Officer Bell, what does Officer Dawes look like? How would you describe him physically in terms of presentation?
Be a white male, and he wears gloves.
Did you say a white male that wears gloves?
Yes,
Okay. Is he tall, short, something else?
I honestly can't describe him right now. He's got darker hair.
Okay. I'm going to publish 104.
There's an issue with the stream.
Okay, we'll republish 104.
Hey, man.
Was that Officer Dawes?
That is.
Did he ask her to tell him what happened?
Yes,
Okay. At any point during that exchange, do you recall her telling anything about Fatima's injuries or how Fatima was her physical condition?
I do not.
During the course of that, as we just watched, Mr. Leary asked you specifically whether they made a break for it, and you said no. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you have to physically use your body to stop them from going towards Mr. Ali, having given them verbal directives not to?
that is correct.
Thank you. And in fact, did Officer Dawes also have to move his body in front of them to stop them from going forward despite those directives?
He did.
And from where Miss Ali was, where you were, where Miss Ali was, or Mrs. Ali, excuse me, Zara, and the younger female in blue, where is Mr. Ali? Where is that individual being taken or located? Meaning, is it somewhere out of sight? Is it somewhere relatively close by? Is it still within view, essentially, of where you guys all are collected, or something else?
I would say it was close within view. Specifically, I believe it's going to be over my back in the parking lot of Timberline is where I think they were.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Kading, recross.
Thank you. And officer, we were just watching Exhibit 104 again.
Yes.
And we saw in there, again, where Mr. Ali was being walked from point A through the screen, presumably towards the patrol car, right?
Yes.
Okay. And one of the officers with him was Officer Hank.
Yes.
Right? And the guy that was with him, that was hanging on to him and walking with him to the car, you don't know who that guy was?
From my knowledge, it was a civilian.
Okay, so not a trained police officer,
Not to my knowledge.
not an undercover police officer,
Not to my knowledge.
not any sort of volunteer officer,
scope of cross or redirect.
Overruled.
not a voluntary officer or anything?
I'm sorry, could you re-ask? I may have missed more than one question.
No, I think we're up to whether or not he was a voluntary officer. You indicated at one point you had been voluntary police officer.
Yes.
This guy, you don't have any idea who he is?
Not to, yeah, I do not.
Okay. And by the time that that walk occurred, there were other officers on scene?
Objection to relevance.
Well, I'm trying to establish what he's doing.
Yeah, overruled.
There were other officers there. We saw Officer Dawes, for
yeah,
example.
yes.
Okay. And so this civilian guy participating in transporting
Objection
Mr. Ali.
to relevance.
Do you wish to be heard on that?
Your Honor, I just.
No, I don't want you to argue right now, but do you wish to be heard on that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask the bailiffs to come forward and bring the jury back to the jury room. Please be seated. Mr. Kading, if you could address whether or not this is beyond the scope of the redirect and then relevance.
Well, Your Honor, we resaw her bring up Exhibit 104, and we saw him walking through the scene. I had asked him earlier if he had remembered seeing him walk through the scene during cross, and he had said he wasn't quite sure if he remembered. So at this point, once it was replayed and his memory was refreshed to that, I was going to ask him questions about that fellow.
And what's the relevance?
Your Honor, I was going to ask him where I was going, is he's a field training officer, and I'm asking him if this is one of the things they train their officers to do, is to transport with civilians prisoners.
Ms. Stone?
Your Honor, that's not the scope of the question. The state's replaying of 104 was in direct response to the questions asked on cross by Mr. Leary. If Mr. Kading wanted to ask further questions in his own cross-examination as to something associated with Mr. Wagner, he could have done that during his cross. The state's redirect was in direct response to Mr. Leary and only on those issues. It doesn't open up so that now Mr. Kading can restart a new cross-examination about everything associated with Exhibit 104. Additionally, it's not relevant. What purpose does that serve? What fact at issue does that relate to? Now Mr. Kading, it sounds like, wants to go into an entirely new line of questioning regarding police procedure, and that is not part of the redirect from the state's, redirect by the state.
Mr. Kading, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to sustain the objection. first, it is beyond the scope of redirect. And second, I find that it is, not only is it beyond, well, and it is not relevant. Bring the jury back in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please be seated. I've sustained the objection. Mr. Keating, you may continue.
Thank you. And then, just finally, officer, you indicated that you needed more people at the scene. Was that your statement on redirect?
Yes,
Okay. How many officers would you estimate were at that scene?
I couldn't give you an accurate number.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Larry Recross?
Just to follow up. So, Ms. Stone played Exhibit 104, and you heard Officer Dawes say, "Can you tell us what happened?" Do you recall
Yes.
that? I talked over you, sorry.
Yes,
And he's asking Zara that question, correct?
it appeared to be that way, yes.
And she's crying at that point, correct?
It appeared to be that way.
And did she appear to respond to that question in any way?
Not that I could see on that.
Okay. And that question was asked a singular time by Officer Dawes, correct?
I'm unaware.
That you saw, a single time, correct? That you personally saw?
On that particular video,
Yes.
I believe that was, I don't, it's
Okay.
hard to say for the rest of the video because it was stopped.
Okay. But to your recollection, from what you saw, was that single time, correct?
At least that moment, yes.
Okay. And 104 is when you're first arriving. It's the first video, correct?
I believe so.
All right. Now, you are trained both at the academy and follow-up training in terms of how to interview people, correct?
Yes,
How to interview suspects, correct?
yes,
How to interview witnesses, correct?
yes.
Okay. Now, if somebody is asked a single question, kind of the expectation would be is that if you want the information, you would then follow up with them, correct?
I'm not understanding
Well,
that
if somebody,
question.
if you ask a question one time and they don't respond, are you done?
It depends on the situation.
Okay. Wasn't necessarily a very conducive time to sit down for an interview with her. Fair? At that point in this whole incident, correct?
I'd agree with that statement.
So her husband is being led away after being detained, correct?
Yes,
She is emotionally distraught.
correct.
Okay. Didn't appear to be in a position to listen, correct?
I don't agree with that.
Didn't appear to be in a position where she wanted to sit down and talk, Fair?
I disagree with that.
Okay. She was wailing and crying at that point, correct?
She was.
Okay. Now, you were there for 52 minutes, correct?
Yes.
And the scene was significantly calmer after you went up to the school, fair?
Yes.
Less dynamic, correct?
Yes.
Mrs. Ali had calmed down, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you could have then walked up to her and had a conversation with her, correct?
Yes.
Same with your trainee, Officer Chavez, correct?
Correct.
Where you would sit down and have an extended conversation with her, correct?
Correct.
And that would be something that would generally be expected if you're going to investigate what happened, fair?
I would agree with that.
Okay. But that didn't happen, right?
Yes, it did not happen.
Okay, thank you.
Any further direct examination?
Super briefly, Your Honor. Officer Bell, you did in fact have a conversation with Mrs. Ali, correct? You did have a conversation with Mrs. Ali. She did tell you her concerns about the scene. Is that fair?
At some point, yes.
And did you observe a conversation between her and Officer Chavez?
Yes.
And was that another attempt at the apple to get information from Mrs. Ali?
Yes, it was.
And did she engage in that conversation with Haneen and Officer Chavez?
She did.
Did she provide details during that?
Yes.
And so you've spoken with her, if I understand your testimony. Officer Dawes has spoken with her, and Officer Chavez has spoken with her. Is that fair?
Yes.
And she has provided information to all of you in each of those cases, except for Officer Dawes. Is that fair?
I would agree with that
Thank you. No
statement.
further questions.
Mr. Kading, any further cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Larry?
You recall the specific questions that Officer Chavez asked Mrs. Ali?
In this particular part that I remember, I was further away, and Officer Chavez was primary.
And Officer Chavez has a body-worn video, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further.
May this witness be excused?
Subject to recall, yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
You may step down. Thank you. Ms. Zoe, call your next witness, please.
Your Honor, this day would like to call Dr. Joyce Gilbert. Permission to get Dr. Gilbert?
Yes. If you'd like to stand, please feel free.